So a while back ago, I made a video called Unrealistic Expectations, and I kind of talked about how feminism sometimes argues that characters, even when they're in animated or illustrated form, should still represent a realistic expectations for the female body. Sometimes the realistic expectation that they want is to desexualize women. This topic opens up doors to other conversations such as, well, can sexuality in entertainment media be presented at all? And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Now, this is very commonly seen as a feminist issue. I don't really see it that way. The argument you've probably heard from feminists before is that women are being overly sexualized in entertainment, and therefore men are seeing women as sexual objects because they're being trained to see women as sexual objects. That's probably one of the most popular arguments against sexuality in entertainment media. And because it's a feminist issue, obviously they're only talking about the sexualization of women, and the men are kind of left out. However, you would be surprised how many men in entertainment are also sexualized. The most primary example of that people bring up a lot is He-Man and She-Ra. He-Man is in a Speedo, She-Ra's in a dress. And you'd be surprised how many women and feminist women will say, oh, well, I don't mind sexuality in entertainment as long as it's equal, as long as the men are just as sexualized as the women. Open your eyes, ladies. That yaoi, that's for you. All those pretty sparkly boys, that's for you. Those shirtless scenes, that's for you. Of course, I'm just talking about fan service in general, but it's for you either way, you know, that's examples of men being sexualized. There's very good arguments to be made for sexualization of both genders being equal. Maybe you're one of those people who thinks, well, it's worse when you sexualize women for men because men are dogs. Men are going to just see women as sexual objects, and women might not see men as sexual objects just because their brains work differently. And there are some people who think that, you know, men just can't be trusted with sexy women on the TV. But as far as men looking at the TV, seeing a sexy woman, and then converting that in their head to only see women as sexual objects, I think there are arguments to be made against that also. I wouldn't consider this a study, but one of the more interesting polls, I'll say poll, that was done was the Ginger versus Marianne debate. So this is from Gilligan's Island, and there was always this debate, if you were stuck on an island with only these two women, which one would you date? And of course, Ginger is this super glamorous, sexy movie star, and then Marianne is this cute farm girl who is just a kind, gentle spirit. And statistically, more men will say they'd rather date Marianne. So they'd rather date the cute girl as opposed to the over-sexualized girl. And I think this is a very interesting thing to bring up now because it goes to show, hey, maybe men don't want exactly what you think they want. Maybe they're looking for something a little bit more than that. Maybe they're looking for that cute girl next door. Maybe just because they see a sexy woman on the TV doesn't mean they'd actually want that woman in real life. And I understand that there are plenty of guys out there who are into one-night stands, you know, they want to date a billion women and they never want to settle down. But more often than not, men want to be in a meaningful relationship and they want to be happy. And it's more common to stereotype a sexy woman as not being a woman that you can settle down with. And TVs have kind of picked up on this. You might have noticed it's kind of a trope for the main male character to go after, you know, the prettiest girl in school. Oh, I wish I could be with her, but she's actually really mean, right? And who does the guy end up with at the end? He ends up with his best friend. He ends up with the girl next door. He never ends up with the super pretty mean girl because he realizes that's not what he wants. That's a very, very common story in a lot of different romance, or maybe not even romance, maybe just like cartoons and things of that nature that this will happen. One of the interesting things about The Mask was they actually subverted this trope at the end of their movie. Say what you want about The Mask, good or bad, I don't really care what you think, but I thought it was really, really funny and genius that they subverted this trope. The idea is, you know, Jim Carrey is going after this super hot pretty girl, but on the side there's also this cute girl next door who's kind of writing for the paper. And there's a scene where you think that him and the cute newspaper girl are gonna get together, maybe. No, that's not how it turns out. It turns out that, like, the cute newspaper girl turned against him, and it was actually the hot pretty girl that he was going after who was the good guy in the end. I thought that was very, very funny subversion, but more so, it kind of goes against that stereotype of just because she's pretty, just because she's hot, doesn't mean that she's a bad person. And I kind of wonder if we should have more of that in entertainment. Maybe more sexy, beautiful characters who completely break the stereotype of being a bad person. I guess like Kim Possible is another example of that. You know, she's beautiful, she's popular, and you think, oh, well, that's the stereotypical, you know, evil girl in school. But no, Kim is actually a very good person. Now, another less popular argument against sexuality in entertainment is that it will make little girls insecure about their bodies. Seeing women with beautiful bodies and very sexualized bodies on the screen will make women feel self-conscious because they don't have that type of body. And, you know, there are women out there who will actually hurt themselves to become beautiful. It's ridiculous what they do to themselves. Of course, the whole body acceptance movement kind of goes against sexuality entertainment because it's like, well, I can't look like that, so therefore it's bad. Like I said before, there are definitely healthy ways to improve your body. There are definitely things that you can do, and you don't have to just give up hope that you'll never be beautiful. As far as little girls feeling insecure about their bodies because they see sexual characters on the screen and they don't look like that, honestly, as a little girl growing up, it has nothing to do with what's on the screen. It has nothing to do with what's on the screen of why you feel insecure. It has everything to do with how people around you make you feel. I'm going to share something a little bit personal, something ironic that goes against this whole, oh, sexuality makes little girls feel insecure. So when I was younger, I had an older brother, older sister, and they both just made me feel horrible about myself. They were the bullying type of older siblings. But I was still a little bit of a little duckling to my sister, so I always wanted to follow her around and I always wanted to play with her friends. You know, I didn't have that many of my own friends, so I wanted to hang out with my sister and her friends. And this event kind of happened right around the time where my tits were growing in. My mom bought me like these training bras. Guys wouldn't know much about this, but like when female breasts just start coming in, they have training bras that don't do anything. They're awful. And I go out to like try to hang out with my sister and her friends, and my sister basically makes fun of me right in front of her friends, saying that like my boobs were poking out of my shirt, and she was saying, haha, you're gonna poke somebody's eye out with those things, or, you know, stuff like that. And I got really, really upset about it, and I just went back inside and I changed the bra, and I like tried to strap down my boobs so nobody could see them. You know, as I grow older, I understand that it was probably just because, well, one, my sister didn't want me hanging out with her friends, and two, because my sister was a little bit insecure about herself, because I was maturing a lot earlier than she was. So, but what's interesting about this very personal situation, give me props for sharing it with you, it had nothing to do with me feeling insecure about my body because I wanted to be over-sexualized like the women on TV. In fact, I was being mocked because I was hitting puberty. I was being mocked because I had boobs. Everyone always talks about how, you know, women will be mocked for having a flat chest. They never talk about it being the other way around. But it goes to show you, girls and boys can be mocked for anything. They can be made fun of for the smallest of things. It just depends what gets under their skin the most. And whoever's bullying you is gonna find out what gets under your skin, and then boom, you're depressed. To me personally, how I feel about sexuality in entertainment media, I don't care. You know, if you want to have a sexy character who uses her sex appeal to get what she wants or to kill men or whatever, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to complain about how her boobs are too big. Now, that's not to say that I think that all of the kids' cartoons should just be filled with, like, big-boobed women. It has to fit. It has to fit the medium. As far as having sexy characters in general be in entertainment, that's fine. I don't know why people care so much. They try to like draw psychological conclusions and how this might impact society. Guys, just calm down. It's a TV show. Of course, these are just my opinions, you know, and this is just my whole analysis on the whole issue. But let me know definitely what you think down below in the comments. You know, share your own stories, share your own opinions. I invite you to open up the conversation, and as usual, leave a like on the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Program restart.